This is the Pink Lifestyle Podcast. Rebranded, updated, and now based on the practice of mindfulness. It is my mission to guide and coach women toward a pink lifestyle. Purposeful, intentional, natural, and kind. We'll do this by discussing topics such as image and presence enrichment, integrative self-care, health and wellness, mindful thinking, and spiritual awareness. I am your host, Karen Bannister, and I am a certified image consultant and life coach. My opinions and insights are based on scientific research, personal experiences, and my own intuitive power, and will help your physical representation awaken and represent your inner strength and self-image. You can contact me on my website, KarenKBannister.com, or email pinklifestylepodcast@gmail.com. I invite you to follow and connect with me on social media channels as the Pink Lifestyle Podcast. This podcast can be found on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and others. Thank you for listening, and your journey toward finding your personal inner power begins now. Thank you again for joining me in this space, and congratulations on taking steps toward finding your own pink lifestyle. Now, as you know, my goal in this podcast is to bring you helpful information on image and presence enrichment, integrative self-care, health and wellness, mindful thinking, and spiritual awareness through my own knowledge and research, and also by introducing you to others who are experts in their fields. And today on this episode, I have an amazing guest for you. Genette Raborn is a certified health coach. And after decades of struggling with her own weight management and other health issues, and doctors telling her that there was nothing she could do because it was simply genetics, well, like any other determined woman would, she went searching for another answer. And she found that the answer involved many things, including her mind and her body, and even her finances, which is really intriguing to me. And she's done a huge amount of personal development and is now growing a very successful business, helping others on their journeys. She is passionate about overall health and well-being and emphasizes that it starts by creating healthy habits. So welcome, Genette. I am so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's so good to be here with you. That was the sweetest email I got from you. It was just like, yes, of course.
Oh my God. I know. Well, when the first time we met, I've always remembered that first interaction with you, and then watching you on your social media. I just thought, I have to get this woman on here because your messaging and what you're doing to help others is just phenomenal. And I want to give you as much reach as possible. So thank you again for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, let's just start by, let's just dive right in, and let's start by learning more about you and your journey, how it helped to get you where you are today and your experiences. So, take it away.
There's a dog playing with a toy. This is Corona life, right? Sorry, y'all. It's real. Okay.
Yes, it is.
So my story, let's talk about my health story first.
Okay.
My health story started, honestly, the first time I went to Weight Watchers, I was 11 years old. Okay, so just to set you up, I'm going on 45.
Okay.
So for decades, I spent in a diet lifestyle.
Ooh.
Truly, through high school, through college, through young adulthood, all the things, pregnancies, everything. It was always a concern, and it was always a struggle. And so occasionally something would work when I was younger, right? Like when you know, when you're younger, you do a diet.
Yes.
And it works. And then I hit my mid-30s. And nothing worked.
Yeah, no comment. But yeah, okay.
Nothing worked well, right? And so I did this whole yo-yoing thing. Honestly, I can't even say I yo-yoed a bunch after my mid-30s, because truly it was like I would maybe lose 15 pounds to the point where when I first talked to my coach, I told her, I'm like, well, if I could lose 20 pounds, I'd be thrilled. And here I am 55 pounds later. Right.
Oh, my. Okay.
So, yeah, it's amazing. And so, you know, it's so important to realize that for many people, the journey starts with nutrition, but it really is more about what's happening up here in your mind, you know?
Yeah.
And so that is what this program did for me, honestly, because I had learned about sugar and empty carbs. I knew what I needed to do. So often I have clients that go, I know what I need to do. I just need to do it. And I'm like, well, if you could do that,
right?
It was that simple, you would have done it already, right? So let's find out why we're not doing it.
Exactly. Oh man, exactly.
And so there's just some roadblocks, right, for all of us. And so for me personally, honestly, in my late 30s, I got super determined. And the reason why was because at that point, I was about 37, 38. The first time I heard high blood pressure. I was in my 20s when I heard high cholesterol.
Oh my.
Off the charts, right? And by my late 30s, they were trying to make me take medicine. And I did for a while. And it was like, you know. Right. And then tachycardic from my late, so I don't know if that's an abnormally high pulse rate.
Oh my.
And so I was laughing earlier. I'm like, I'm probably a little tachycardic right now. But not really. So high blood pressure, high cholesterol, tachycardic, chronic eczema from the time I was a very little child.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And all of those things are vastly improved now. And so I had a doctor, a cardiologist. It's the weirdest date I ever took my husband on, because I made him come with me because I'm like, you have to hear this.
Okay. Right. Well, yeah.
Okay. Cardiologist that sat and said, because I looked at him straight in the face and I'm like, listen, I don't deserve, and I said the F word, fat. Ooh. I don't deserve to be fat. Like, I try, you know. I do, in his defense, I do have a horrible family history, very, very strong family history of not just, cardiac disease. I have a very strong family history of death, very early death from a cardiac stuff.
Okay.
Talking about just to give you guys ideas, ages like 49 to 60.
Holy. Okay. So
and a lot of it.
That's enough to give you concern. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
My mom and her brother both had bypass surgery in their mid-50s. Her brother has since passed away. And so thankfully she is vibrant and beautiful and doing great. She's 70 years old today.
Oh, happy birthday, Mom. Awesome.
Right? And so she's doing well, but you know, there was this like cloud over me of like, this is going to happen to you. And so there I am, you know, at the cardiologist. I'm literally like, I need help. And he's like, you have this horrible family history. And he looked at me and said, there's really not much you can do about it. I swear to you, those were his words.
Really? A doctor says that to you?
Yes. And I was, you know, I'll be honest, for about 3 days, I was like liberated. Okay. I was like, it's not my fault. So for about 3 days, I was liberated. And then it was like, well, no, this isn't fair. Like, no, that can't possibly be the answer. Right. Mm-hmm. And so I did. I went back to the drawing board. I went and read a couple books, and I was like, let me try this. So again, I got to this place where I knew what I needed to do. Uh-huh. I just didn't know exactly how to do it. Didn't have the formula right. Right. So then a whole lot of life happened. Like I was explaining to you earlier about how we ended up in Chattanooga, and we got to Chattanooga I had kind of tabled it all for a little bit. And then we changed our lifestyle and we started dieting again, truthfully, but I dumped the empty carbs and sugar. Okay.
Oh, and this was a conscious decision that the both of you made, or?
Yes, my husband and I both.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we did great. We did great for a long while. And it was fantastic. The problem is I was still definitely heavily in a diet mindset. And that to me that is the crux of this, is if we stay in a diet and deprivation mindset, then we will never get to a lifelong transformation.
Very true.
Okay.
Right.
It's definitely just part of that negative mindset. We like positivity, right?
Right.
So,
that makes sense. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We like gratitude, so I tell people all the time, I'm like, part of my daily work is gratitude journaling. I don't know about you. Do you do that?
I do journal, yes.
Okay, so gratitude journaling, and it's just a tip that I give to anyone and everyone if you want to have a more positive life, right? Is sitting down once a day, almost every day at least, and writing down 3 to 5 things that you are grateful for from the last time you did it.
That's good.
Okay.
Hey, the Queen journals every day. You should journal too.
Right, exactly. And it's actually amazing what happens is because once you get past, I'm thankful for my house, I'm thankful for my family, right? Then you get down to, I am really thankful for that client, experience that I just had, or I'm super thankful that I got to spend that time with my son. Right? It gets very specific.
It does.
And look, I remember one day it was like, I'm super thankful that Kevin finally installed the toilet downstairs. We're in the midst of a renovation and it was like,
Oh, man. I've had days where I was thankful for those fuzzy socks that I found that I thought I lost. So they were just so soft and comforting. So, yeah, sometimes you got to look for it, but yeah.
I'm a mom. And so I have a 19-year-old, and I remember last year, one day, there was some stuff that happened in her little community. And I said, I'm thankful I didn't lose it. And I might have said a different word.
I think a lot of us have been there and can relate. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I'm thankful I held it together. We're good. And so positive mindset away from diet and deprivation mindset, and then your gratitude. Those are 2 really big components that I try to help my clients with on the business side and on the health side. Because obviously, as you mentioned earlier, part of this whole process was healthy mind and body, but then that led me to creating a business. And the coolest thing about my business is that I get to help other people create a business.
That's awesome.
Right?
Right.
And so it's amazing to coach coaches and clients. And then of course, collectively, we are helping so many people get healthy.
Well, that's okay. So you work with clients, but you also coach other people.
Yes.
Process and how to do it. So you're building a full community of health and wellness and gratitude, and just spreading the word that's amazing. Okay.
So our program that we use, yes, there's a nutrition protocol. Absolutely, because there's a science behind it.
Right.
It makes it simple. It makes it straightforward. But there's 3 other components that are vital to the system and being, a lifelong transformation.
Okay.
One of them is having your coach. I am always your coach. I tell people, I'm like, I try to work myself out of a job, but I also don't want you coming back to me in a year and saying, guess what? What I really want is for you to stay in my community and be part of those. You know how we always hear that you're most like the 5 people you surround yourself with.
Yes.
I kind of switched that to you're most like the 5 communities you hang in the most. Right. So I like to surround myself with entrepreneurial women like yourself. Okay. I like to surround myself with healthy people that are going to come to my house and be thrilled when I have a healthy meal ready. And then of course I have my family and those, my faith community, things like that. So, it's all encompassing, and it is true. You really are like people you're hanging around with.
That is an amazing way to take that 5-person thing and translate it into such a wider view of life. I really like that. I'm gonna say, I really like that.
I know. I'm so glad I gave you something you like. And so community is a huge component in our program. Okay. And then the last component is learning how to create healthy habits and like the actual system. And so most people don't know that it takes 66 days to create a habit for most people, and then a lot of people don't understand the idea of structural tension. And I'm doing this because I usually have a rubber band when I teach people. And so I should have my rubber. Oh, look, here it is. I told you. And so, and I will demonstrate it. Most people don't understand that if you're here and you want to get here, you have to have the space in the middle, the plan, right?
Right.
And, when we really coach about it, we dig in, and anything you want to do in life, if it's a dream, requires a plan, right?
Really?
And so you dig in, you have the space in the middle. That's where you put your structural tension ladder. And as you get there, interestingly enough, in a health journey in particular, and in lots of journeys, as you get there, your rubber band might loosen a little bit. And so guess what happens? You got to create more goals.
Ooh.
And so the poor people on your podcast are probably like, what is she doing?
Well, then go to YouTube and watch it, because it's when you see what she's demonstrating, you're like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so, but the idea there is that as you get closer to some goals, you're going to loosen up, and you're going to get a little loosey-goosey with your habits. So if you create more goals, then you can strengthen that tension in between again. And then you're going to get a little more mindful and a little more like, I got to get there. And so one of the things we always talk about is, look, I'm a health coach. I've reached my goal weight. I'm in maintenance and all those things, and my cholesterol, all that's fixed.
Good.
But I have more health goals, So,
right.
I want to be better with my habit of motion. It's kind of my hard thing, And so, I'm still working on that. I'm great with my habits of sleep and my healthy surroundings, right? Things like that. So we actually work on more than just our nutrition and hydration. It just starts there for most people.
Well, that's absolutely true. And it's nice. I really appreciate and love when other coaches, they share with such clarity that as coaches, we're always adjusting our goals and striving, for continuance too, to really reaffirm for people that it's not just a one and done. I mean, it's a continuous process. And as soon as you realize a goal, something else does come up. And it's just this continuous life of growth and development. And I find it, I can see your expression. I mean, it's exciting and it's fulfilling. Right. And we like to bring other people into that because it's so amazing to feel this way. I mean, 20 years ago, you would have never seen me feeling like this, but to have experienced it,
right?
It's just, you just want to share it with everybody. Like I can tell you do. I mean, I can tell that you're so passionate about what you do. You're so into it too.
But did you know that it's proven that as we age, we stop dreaming and we stop growing and learning, like as a whole, not you and me. Obviously, we're not there.
So, I'm older than you, so it ain't stopped yet. So
right, exactly. But as a collective human race, that's kind of the trajectory that most people take, and it's really sad because our brains are capable of so much, right? So to me, it's like I don't want to stop growing, until the day there ain't no more growing. Like I want to just constantly learn, and I always joke about it. I'm like, I would probably take college courses just for fun if it wasn't so expensive. Like,
okay, yeah.
And I'm no brilliant
same thing. I mean, always signing up. I'm sure you're the same way. I mean, you're always looking for the extra education, not just for you, and not just for your clients, for yourself too.
Yep. Anytime I have an opportunity, our company is amazing for doing continuing education for coaches. And anytime I have an opportunity, I never miss an opportunity.
Wow.
And that happens weekly with them, but then they do big conferences. And of course, gotta love COVID. It's been a little different. We usually travel. I was in Sedona, Arizona in November, and it was amazing. I mean, it was incredible. It was an incredible 3 days of just having our mentors pour into us, you know, and teach us these things. And we bring that back to our clients. That's what's so incredible, you know. And so we never miss an opportunity to grow, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's really, really awesome. And, you know, while I'm talking about that, I can tell you some of my favorite principles that my mentors have taught, if you want.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes.
And so one of my favorites, so lead from the future, act in the now. Now, what does that mean? It's kind of like that structural tension that I was just talking about, but it's about like having the dream, picturing yourself there in the space where you've achieved said dream, and saying, what would that person tell you right now in this moment what to choose when you're presented with a choice? So, okay, so there's an obvious story I can tell, right, about health.
Okay.
We're at the checkout line at the grocery store. The typical habit is I'm going to grab the candy bar or the Coke or something like that, or the chips, right? Because you've just grocery shopped for the family and you're tired, and it's like, I deserve this when I get in the car. That's what I do when I finish grocery shopping.
I'm sure a lot of people, I've done it. We've all done it. Yep.
I've done it. I might change. Now it's more.
done it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I might grab a bottle of water and some almonds, you know, like I make different choices, but that's the whole point is you're standing there, you know that those things aren't good for you. And again, I'm equating this to health. We can talk about every situation ever, but you know those things aren't good for your body and they're not going to make you feel good. It's going to be a momentary joy. Okay. Momentary. So you look at it, you stop and you say, hold on, what does future Genette want? Right. And what did she achieve? And what would she say right now? She would say, grab the bottle of water and the almonds.
Yes, okay. Put that candy bar down.
Right. And so there's lead from the future, act in the now. So you make the choices that your future self would make.
Wonderful.
You know, I just love it. To me, it's like such a simple thing, but it's like, oh, you know.
Sometimes the most simple things are extremely effective. So, love it.
And dreaming is such a big deal. And so, you know, just like we were talking about earlier, people stop growing, people stop dreaming. And so, you know, I had one of our higher ups in the company did an amazing speech for our virtual conference a few weeks ago. And his whole speech was about dreaming in the midst of the crazy that we're dealing with right now. And he really spoke to me. Like, I wake up every day and I hear, and this is what he did. This whole speech came down to two questions. Okay. Why not you? And why not now? What if you make this whole time that we're experiencing all of this new normal, right? What if you make this work for you and not to you?
Oh, that's an incredible mindset. You know,
oh my goodness.
I wish that upon everybody. Yes.
Right? Yeah. And so, you know, so then as a result, as a coach, I find myself talking to clients and friends that have their kids that are suddenly homeschooling. As I told you earlier, I am a long-term actual homeschooler.
That's right, Miss. A little bit of an advantage, but
yeah. So, but what that has done for me is it's made it where I can go, hold on, it's going to be okay. I promise.
Oh,
you know, let's work through this. Let me, you know, and I've told countless people, if you want to get on the phone with me and we can work through some ideas, I'd be happy to help. Right. Because I want them to like, just not have this negative mindset around it, because I feel like that's contagious. Okay.
I love that you said that, because it's so true. Oh,
negativity is absolutely contagious, but here's the good news. So is positive.
Exactly.
Positive thinking is contagious. So, you know, taking the making the lemonade out of lemons.
Yeah.
We can do this. We can make all of this be happening for us. Yes, it stinks. Yes, it's stressful, but we can actually flip this around up here. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
So, and in our minds. Yeah. So the second one that I love, the second principle that we've learned through our mentors. And again, y'all, this is straight from my mentors. I've just learned it and I love sharing it.
Yeah, bring it on.
So is to take responsibility and play above the line.
Yeah. Yes.
So, hey, guys, like literally the day that the doctor said to me, and for 3 days, I didn't take responsibility. Right? For 3 days, I decided I was a victim. I just had this horrible DNA. La da 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 da. You know, I was playing way below the line and in the drama triangle.
I like that you said you were playing the victim. It was out of your control. What am I gonna do? Blah. And
That's
then.
The prize.
And then luckily after those 3 days, now what snapped you?
3 days,
talk about that. What snapped you out of that after those 3 days? Did something happen?
Honestly, my family.
Yeah.
My family. I was like, no, I am not gonna sit back and literally. I mean, I hate to be dramatic, but literally, I felt like if I didn't take control where I could, I would die. Okay. Like that was a fair assumption with my family history.
Right.
Okay. So and like an extremely fair assumption.
Right.
So, and I got to tell you, you know, my mom had the bypass surgery at 55 and I was starting way earlier with all the problems.
Oh boy.
So, you know, she didn't have any of her diagnosis until her mid to late 40s. So I'm here 10 years sooner, right? Dealing with this. So what snapped me out of it was my kids, looking at my kids going, you know, when you're 55, they're probably just going to be getting around to grandkids, right? Because that'll be, when I'm 55, they'll be 29 and 25. Okay.
Right.
So, you know, I'm like, I don't want to miss that.
Exactly.
I don't want to not be able to.
I'm so glad you had that moment of clarity and just took ownership of it. Like you said, I'm thankful that you did, because I'm very thankful that you're here. So,
that's awesome.
And you're such a testament to your experience and your education and your training. So it's amazing.
So and then I will be honest with you. I happen to have a Christian faith perspective, but then you asked me about my why. Basically, is what you asked me. What's your why? Because that's uber important. It's the very first thing I work on with clients. So what, you know, you asked me, as you said, you basically said, what's your why? And my why is my family, right? But there's another portion of it. And I actually feel as though I have been blessed with a vessel to live on this earth in. And I do feel that it is my responsibility to care for it. If I had a diamond crystal vase, you know, that was worth millions of dollars, I wouldn't be sitting it on the bedside table where the dog could not get over, right?
Right.
Like I'm going to have it like in a cabinet, special, you know.
Right.
And so, I feel the same way about my body. I've got to take care of it. I've got to protect it.
Wonderful.
And so,
yes,
it's part of that whole taking responsibility, playing above the line, leaving that victimhood behind, and embracing it and saying, I'm not going to stay in that triangle. And if anybody doesn't know what the drama triangle is, you should totally look it up. But we're not going to stay there. And that applies, I got to tell you, it applies to when I'm coaching people with their business as well. And I'm sure you experience this. So the whole happening to me versus for me thing, you know, it's a big deal. And I will tell you that I have to be coached on this occasionally. I've just gotten a lot better at catching myself. Because
I think that's the key. I think we all deal with it. It's developing.
It's human nature.
Catch yourself. Yeah, it is human. It's developing the awareness and the skill to go, wait, hold on, stop it, and catch yourself and redirect your own thinking. So yeah,
exactly. And so, and that's the thing, is that when it comes to the drama triangle and that, you know, victim, hero, villain cycle, it is human nature to be there. And about 95% of the people on this earth live there, you know? And so the key is you're going to constantly be pulled in. You could be driving down the street and somebody honks their horn at you and you get sucked in, right?
Yeah.
And so, or somebody cuts you off in traffic, you get sucked in. Yep. And so it's really important. And I use that example because I used to be that person.
So okay.
You know, and then I realized I'd say to the kid, I can remember just last year actually being on Hickson Pike down, going and somebody doing something crazy and my daughter saying, oh my gosh, what is wrong with them? Blah, 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 and me, I just turned to her and I said, we actually don't know what's happening with them right now. They could be really in a hurry to get to a hospital or to get to someone, more than likely not, but let's,
you don't know.
They could really be in their head and not thinking straight and they're having a lot of stress. So let's just let it go. It's okay. We're okay. So, it happens in our daily lives. We just get pulled in. So it's human nature. The key is, like we said, creating the habit of pulling ourselves out real quick. Mm-hmm. Right. And so that's number 2. And then the third principle, that's my favorite is that, and we kind of sort of touched on this already. We seek growth, but we embrace obstacles as the way. And so
I love the way that's worded.
Yes. And so, gosh, if we go through life not expecting obstacles, aren't we going to live very disappointed? If anybody doesn't know that after the last 5 months.
Oh boy. Yeah. No.
And so, we're back to that whole, can you flip something around to make it be a good thing? And I told you the story about how we ended up in Chattanooga. Yes. And how much we love it here. And very briefly for your listeners, it was a very stressful time in our lives. Very quickly, we got the opportunity to move to Chattanooga. Mm-hmm. It was very obvious that it was just meant to be.
Right.
Universe, everything was saying, go, you got to do this. And, we were sad leaving where we were in South Florida. We had a community. We had a great homeschool life there. And we got here, and 6 months later, every one of us agreed we never want to leave.
Oh, that's amazing.
And so, and it was hard, and my poor kids, I've lived everywhere. I moved around a whole lot. And I tell everybody all the time, like, they kind of got the short end of the stick when it came to moving with Mom, because my answer to them was, I promise you'll be all right. Like, I've done this so many times. I promise you're going to be okay. And worst case scenario, we change it. Right. We will figure it out. And so, but it ended up being absolutely amazing. And so, we love it here. So we're not leaving. But do you want me to relate it to health?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, whatever. That's what you're about, right? Come on.
Absolutely. So we always joke that sometimes there's like a mourning process with food, like with junk food. Like, if you're going to give it up, like, people don't want to think that they want to give it up because there's emotional connection to good feelings with it, right? Like, it's comfort. It's for fun, it's for happy, it's for sad, it's for all the feels, right?
Right.
So there's a mourning process. We have to kind of get to a place where we have to let it go. We have to let go of the identity that we feel happy when we eat Oreos. And we have to some people do. So, but, or whether or not, look, one of the things about the beginning of our system is we don't drink alcohol at first. We introduce it back, but we don't drink alcohol in the beginning. And so there's a mourning process there for a lot of people, because it's something that makes them feel good. Their glass of wine in the evening is like, I'm breathing. It's part of their ritual.
Right. No,
right.
Right.
And so there's something to be said for that. So we have to mourn a little bit and let go of those things that aren't serving us well.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. So you're and
then the embracing the obstacles part is kind of like embracing the fact that these other things are really good for me. Mm-hmm. And, I tell everybody all the time, I'm like, I could have, flipped this around and been angry that sugar and empty carbohydrates are not the best thing for me. Okay. And just so y'all know, I have a very balanced diet. I don't want anybody thinking we have some extreme protocol, because that's actually kind of the most amazing part.
Oh, okay.
And so it's just that we make really wise choices and we know how to do it. And so we I'm sorry. Junk sugar. So what I was saying is I could be really angry and resentful of the fact that sugar and junk food and empty carbs aren't what I need to be healthy.
Okay.
Or I could be extremely happy to understand that sugar and junk carbs and empty carbohydrates don't work well for me.
It's an amazing mindset twist. I mean, change.
Yeah. Like you can be really mad about it, or you can be super happy to finally have an answer.
Yeah.
Right. And so for me, it was, I went back to my why. Okay. I want to live. I want to be vibrant. I want to enjoy our retirement and travel all over the world. I want to do all these things, and I don't want to be sick or dead. It'd be nice not to be dead.
Well, kind of important. Yeah. Okay.
And so having that mind shift is really the crux of, embracing that obstacle, embracing the fact that for a little while, I really wanted things. For a little while, I really wanted them and shouldn't have them. Right. Mm-hmm. And now I'm like, I can have them if I want them, but I don't want them anymore.
Not really. Yeah.
Honestly, I literally did mourn French fries. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
So I was a couple years into my journey, and honestly had a fry here and there. Right. And then one night we were at a very good restaurant in Louisiana. I was eating boiled crawfish. And my dad had French fries, and I tasted one, and I was like, I don't like that.
Oh.
Like all I taste is burned oil. And so I left there, and I'm like, they need to fix their French fries. I blamed the restaurant. Right. So I was like, so then it kind of became a challenge over the next couple of months. I tried French fries at every place we went. Right. Like I would eat literally like 3 French fries and go, nope, I don't like them.
Oh my God.
I don't like them. And the fact is I was mourning. I did not want to not like them because I had a positive memory with them. Right. But of course I flipped that around and went, wait a minute, hold on. You don't like French fries. That's amazing. This is something to be celebrated, not mourned.
Oh my God. That's incredible. That's so grabbing at words here, but such a healthy mindset. I mean, it's just strong mindset too. I mean, to be able to get to that point.
And you do, if you surround yourself with the right coach and community and the right information, and then commit to yourself to make the changes, you can get there. And even in business, even if you don't have a nutrition story or a health journey that you need to go on, you take these principles and apply it to your everyday practices, right?
Right.
That and action, and you can accomplish anything. Consistent action.
It's very that's kind of the crux of it. I mean, people have plans and they have ideas, but if you don't take action, they're just plans and ideas.
That's right.
That's just
a dream is just a wish without a plan.
There you go. It just gives me the warm fuzzies. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you're at this place in your life with this fantastic business and being successful and teaching coaches and teaching clients. What's coming up for you? What do you see in the future?
It's interesting. Well, first of all, I do have to share with you that I was a stay-at-home homeschool mom until I found this 2 years ago, right? Oh. And so, I mean, honestly, it was kind of like I was actually in a place where I was looking at college to maybe possibly go back and become a counselor, things like that, because I do have a servant heart, I think. And I was mentoring homeschool moms, just lots of different things happening. And I honestly didn't know what I wanted to do when I grew up.
Okay.
And so, I'll be honest, it was a little bit of a struggle for me. I was feeling like I didn't have the confidence, and I didn't feel like I I felt like, oh, I'm going to have to go out and get some $12 an hour job if I'm lucky, you know? And
Right.
so, and I mean, I have a college degree, but I hadn't used it for 18 years. So I just kind of was a little bit lost. And then amazingly enough, I found the answer to my health, and I found the passion to actually start coaching people and helping them, you know.
Your own journey set you on this path. That's just,
It's the most amazing thing ever, really.
Right.
And I'm so grateful for that. And so what's next, I guess, is I need to continue helping people and growing my business, which means, yes, having more clients. I help as many clients as I possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
And we do amazing things. It's the coolest thing in the world to get these texts every day. You know, of course, women, they're crazy. They send you pictures of their bras that are smaller and, and they're like literally before and afters, and pants that are sticking out here, and different, wins, and we always talk about non-skill victories too. I want everybody to understand. First of all, I never tell somebody what their goal weight is, because I don't know what you want to weigh. Like, I just want you to be healthy. Right. And so we can talk about that. I will tell you that most people underestimate what they're capable of.
I will absolutely agree with you on that.
And so, and then, as far as the next step there is, finding more people to join in with me on this mission. And that's the biggest, obviously business growth thing that I can do, because I can only help so many people individually with their health. Right. If I can grow my team and inspire more people to grow their business, then I am indirectly helping hundreds and hundreds of people. Right. Right. I'm pretty much doing that already. So let's say thousands and thousands.
There you go. Shoot high.
So that's my goals, as far as my next big business goals as a woman and business leader, and
that's amazing. Yeah.
As a couple, our big next goal is for Kevin to be full-time working with me. Oh,
that's exciting.
Yeah. And so, that's our really big next goal, because I was already at-home mom. So my income is like, okay, let's just keep growing,
Right.
And so, but he still works and he helps me, but he still works. And that's our next big goal, is for him to be able to come home and work full time with me. He actually loves health coaching as well.
Oh, that's exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He does all the trainings. Yeah, he loves it. He's done it with me. We've actually we've lost about 110 pounds.
Holy cow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Good for you guys.
Maybe a little more. So it depends on the day. And that's the other thing too, is never in my life have I ever been able to be like, I'm okay with I haven't been on a scale in months.
Good for you.
Because it's not about that. It's about, like, I know I have these new habits. I'm not going to gain weight, right? And so when I do get checked at the doctor's office or whatever, I'm always within that same 5 or so pounds, and I can feel when things are off, because once you're healthy, you know when things, yeah.
Oh boy. Do you? I start to misbehave for a day or two. It's like, okay, got it. I mean, you can totally feel the difference. Oh, I know exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
So, I'll tell you, one of my first symptoms when things are off, besides my body, like, obviously I can feel inflamed, and things like that, but is my sleep. I'm saying this because I don't know if many people realize that sleep is connected to your nutrition, not just caffeine. Okay. So I stopped drinking caffeine later in the day long ago, because I knew that kept me up. But nutrition affects your sleep as well. So I used to be the person that laid there and the wheels were spinning. Just spinning. We'd lay down, and my husband, I'm not joking, he would get up at 3 a.m. I'd be on my phone. Bad habit. Yeah. But I couldn't sleep Right.
Gosh, right.
And so it was like, well, what will I do now? So I'd get on the phone and start reading stuff. I'd actually try to find boring things to read. No, not kidding. And so it's like, pull up the Journal of American Medicine or something. When I have my nutrition in check, and since I have my nutrition in check,
mm-hmm.
I put my head on the pillow, I decide I'm going to sleep, and within 5 or 10 minutes, I'm there.
Okay, that's not worth the training. I don't know what. Right, that right there would be enough.
It is amazing. And then I used to be the person that hit the snooze button 20,000 times, right? And now, usually I wake up before the alarm. Okay, because I have the alarm set at a very reasonable 8:15.
Not bad. Okay.
And so my light went out. But now, I wake up, usually it's like 7:45. I wake up naturally. I get up. But if I do sleep until the alarm goes off, I'm like, let's go. It's the most, I don't know how to tell it other than to say that, I just feel so amazing. And that's why I need to share it.
I mean, it's totally understandable. I mean, how can you not want to share?
Right.
So if people want to tell us how people can get a hold of you. Now, if you're listening or watching, I'm going to have all this information in the show notes. So you don't have to go scrambling for a pen right now. But if you're listening, Genette, where can people find you? What's the best way to get a hold of you to get signed up for this program?
So truthfully, the best way is through my Facebook. Okay. And so you're going to have that link. I do have Instagram. I'm trying to be better about it, y'all. I'm going on 45. I'm not the most technologically. Facebook is like, all the kids are like, oh, that's for the old people. But it's not. Facebook is the best way to find me. And the great thing about my Facebook is it's public. You can go check it out. You can see the before and afters of clients and see some of our stories. You can also learn some really cool things because I try to add value to my Facebook. I also keep it very positive. You're never going to see me talking about anything negative.
No, it's true. I mean, I do follow you. In fact, I think you just posted a new story today about one of your clients having an amazing success. So
yes.
Yeah, I will vouch. Yes. Her Facebook is, follow her. Find her on Facebook, which will have the link. Absolutely.
Yes. So positive, uplifting, and value. That's what I work for, And then, of course, you'll see some of my dogs and my kids and and cabinet rebuilds and, all those things.
That's cool.
So it is still my Facebook.
Lovely. Well, that's wonderful. Well, again, Genette, thank you so much. I mean, your story is inspirational. And this has been an amazing experience for me, and I'm pretty sure the listeners are gonna. I wouldn't understand how they wouldn't feel the same way.
Thank you so much.
Your story is again inspirational and enlightening and positive and uplifting. I mean, I'm like ready to go. I don't know what to change because I've given up meat and alcohol myself. But anyway, it's just.
I can help you.
So again, I'm happy that you joined me here, and oh my gosh, and to everyone else, thank you again for listening, and I really hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I'll have all the contact details for Genette for you to find her easily, and reach out to her, with any questions you may have on your own journey. And absolutely. I wish you health and happiness and success in your pursuit of your own pink lifestyle. Again, thank you, and until next time.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Pink Lifestyle Podcast. Again, you can reach me on my website, KarenKBannister.com, or email pinklifestylepodcast@gmail.com. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and others, and on social channels including Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Pinterest as Pink Lifestyle Podcast. Congratulations on starting your journey. Please share this with your friends and family and focus on creating your own pink life. Until next time.